Over on Twitter reactions time, Man United 0, Liverpool 0. We kick things off with the comment from our good mate Manny _official. Not the worst results, but we really didn't test them. That's the thing. That is the overriding thing. I think there'll be a temptation. I'm sure there's people losing their heads all over social media, and that's what social media is for in the here and now. It's for saying things that you probably don't necessarily think in the call, when you've had time to cool down and what have you. But that's the big thing. A point at Old Trafford is an absolutely fine result to get, except that they had loads of injuries, they weren't great, and they were probably had the best chances ultimately of the game. We should have done more, and that will be, ultimately it feels very much like 2 points dropped as opposed to a point gained in that regard. Let's see what else we got. We got all kinds here. Robert T. Ramsey, what an awful game of football it was, wasn't it? Sky seems to have had a lot of these lately, and I would expect it from like a Jose Mourinho, Man United. I think, I just don't know. I wonder whether if they kept the side, if they even if Lingard stays on, if he's able to contribute better, whether they'd have been a bit more and been able to commit more, and that might have meant a bit more of an open game. I don't know, but yeah, it was a terrible game of football, and I think that was largely Liverpool's fault, to be honest, because United had a couple of pretty decent opportunities, all told. Kit Loomy. The wonderful graphic designer behind my badge on my YouTube channel. Not impressed with the game and our performance, but we're still top of the league, so just got to brush ourselves off and do better next game. Yeah, absolutely. I think that'll be. I don't think that. I've seen a few people saying that, and there'll be probably a few more of those comments. I think it feels like it's not a great time post these matches to put your head above the parapet and say things like we're still top of the league, because I think there's a massive groundswell at the moment of people who think that this is just an indication of Liverpool falling off a cliff as we inevitably crumble or whatever, and people might be absolutely right on that. But I think, and the cold, hard fact of it all is that we are top of the league, and at Liverpool, that game, you need to draw a line at it. You need to make that game or the couple of games that we've had in a few draws recently not count towards anything. You need to go back and Liverpool start winning games. It won't matter. It just feels more nervy than it maybe should do if we'd just been able to kick on things, of course. Adam Feely. Good result for Liverpool. The stadium, Liverpool don't get good results, but what a god-awful game. Boring as hell. The fixture has lost its appeal and lustre. Agree. And it's a good point. Liverpool have won there twice in the last decade. Twice in 10 years. Even the other good result that we think about was a draw in the Europa League, and Phil Coutinho getting the away goal in that one. So yeah, and we've said, it was a great point. I don't know if I've actually got a comment on this. I'll see if I can hold on tight, because there's a really good comment somewhere, and I really hope I have liked it. But yeah, that game was flat. Yeah, very, very flat. It's weird how there was a real opportunity for us, I think, to flex our muscles there. And we haven't, and it would have been. I mean, would it have been a great game of football if Liverpool had battered them? For us, yeah, absolutely. For the neutrals, yeah, who knows? Certainly not for all those minge bags who don't want Liverpool to win the league. So yeah, maybe in that regard, we've made it more interesting for them. Sky will be creaming in the kecks. Sky don't want us to win the game with loads to go. They want us to have things go down. Thanks, Dad. They want us to have, they want us to have it be a close run thing, because that's where all the drama and interest is. Okay, moving on then, we have got Matty Jennison saying best bit was when you could hear Martin Tyler's heart rip in two when Smalling was called offside when Matip put the ball in his own goal. There's that, and obviously, I've forgotten how much I hate Martin Tyler in these games, and yeah, he was terrible. Spam Smiler, too many draws in a title-pushing campaign. We've been here before. Yeah. Mike Owens, Red Mikey, 76, fucking sick. A Liverpool fan's criticism of Klopp and his team. Where were you when Hodgson was manager? Top of the league, end of story. You can win the league by 1 point. That's the thing. Whether you're angry or wound up or disappointed or anywhere along the spectrum of annoyance by that, nobody's happy with that result, by the way. And if you are, I think you're probably trying a little bit too hard to be happy with it. But yeah, I think that's something we're going to have to live with. We're going to have to just shrug it off and go, yeah, because ultimately no amount of getting upset about it is going to change what happened. But, fine to be wound up, fine to be annoyed. I always say this, and this is the thing that winds me up about being in the game. Can't stop people going, when something breaks down. That's a natural reaction. You can't stop how you instantly react to things. But what you can do is go, and do, do the clap after the fact. That's the thing that you do have control of, and that's what I think we've all got to get better at controlling is there's nothing to be gained by getting dead upset about it. You can be upset, you can be wound up, you can have them feelings entitled to them because we should be. We had a great opportunity to take 3 points against Man United at Old Trafford, to go to a ground that we're largely terrible at and get a good result, and the team absolutely fizzled out before we really ever looked to get going in that. So yeah, we've got every reason to be upset, but not really tomorrow or the day after or the day after. It's one of them things, isn't it? Andrew Cunningham, I'll take a point at Old Trafford. Yes, a win would have been massive in the title race, but we're top of the league by a point. The title's in our hands. We want to Watford at home at Wednesday. That's the thing. That's what Liverpool have got to do now, and that's why I'm glad that the games are coming thick and fast now, because I couldn't live with a week of this and a week of thinking, oh God, what happens if blah, 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 blah. Watford at home. Take it to Anfield. If you're going to get back on the horse again, then best have a home game for it, really. Srinath Saravanan, I think that's right. Last 2 times we won at Old Trafford, we lost the league. So no worries. That. I was trying to make that point in the build-up. I was saying, well, really good. The last time we were title challenging, we went and won at Old Trafford. I completely glossed over the fact that we then subsequently finished second in the league. So maybe this is a good omen. Who knows? I don't fucking know. Do you know? No. So yeah, thanks very much for that comment. Brilliant. Let's see. Pet Piranha problems at the top of the league. You know, Liverpool Red. Feels like a defeat, but wait, we're actually top. That was our toughest remaining game. We can win all the remaining games now. Oh, and we kicked them out of the top 4. I should be pleased, but I'm not. Bobby should have scored in the first minute. They were there for the taking. They were absolutely. And look, I couldn't give a fuck when Man United finished, if I'm perfectly honest. It doesn't have, it has zero impact on my life. I won't have to. I'm glad that there's one game left this season where I have to give Man United even the slightest of consideration. That's them playing Man City. It'd be lovely if they could do something. And I feel like in the context of things, this is one of those games where Man United could well have a massive hand in the title race. They haven't been able to knock us off top spot. That's one way of looking at it. Whereas they could theoretically end Man City's title challenge a little bit later on in the season, which would be delicious if that happens. So yeah, their fans now will gear up towards that, I think, because they can't now have an impact on us. So Man United fans faced with the choice of watching them get beat by Man City or beating Man City and making Man City fans, the people they live with, cry. I think they'd take that, and I hope we all would. Nick Fagan, can someone please explain to me how halfway up the pitch defending from free kicks? Did you see how they were always caught offside? That's why we do that. David Noonan, really missing a playmaker or someone to break the lines in midfield, forwards feeling the blow. Yeah, I agree with that, and that's what we lost with Roberto Firmino in playing in the false 9. Daniel Sturridge just isn't. He's just not good enough, unfortunately, to play at the absolute top level for us. I think he's going to have an impact. He's already had an impact. The goals that he scored for us, if Liverpool win the league, will have had a telling impact towards that. Undoubtedly, the draw at Stamford Bridge being a prime example of that one. He might yet have an impact. He might yet get one more goal or another goal or something between now and the end of the season, but we're just a worse side when we haven't got our proper front 3 up and firing. I think it's fairly obvious at this point. So yeah, shame. But yeah, and Oxlade Chamberlain getting him back would be a big bonus for us between now and the end of the season. Shaqiri's form's fallen off a cliff as well. He's just not getting close enough to the front 3 to have the impact. He's picking the ball up 10 yards inside their half on the right-hand side. What's he going to do from there? He needs to be a bit brave in his position and in his possession. John Gibbons, our good friend from the Anfield Raptors, top of the league. Rick Cooper, we're top of the league. So why do I have that sense of dread in my stomach? This Twitter, YouTube comments, and the fact that Liverpool could have gone, 10,000 points clear at top of the league in January. Now we're just a point clear. That feels like it's short, and it feels like it's maybe sand in our hands or slipping out of our fingers and all that. It feels like that because that's how we look at things. We can only look at that and point plots on a graph and all that kind of stuff. And maybe it is that. I'm not sure that the players necessarily feel that. And, when things are on a knife edge, this Liverpool side under Jurgen Klopp tends to perform in the pain and the pressure. I think we'll be all right, but yeah, I also have that shared dread. I'll link to my video I did on my channel. It's just as pertinent, if not more, right now, but I'm really stressed out by this whole experience at the moment. But actually seeing people being super, super wound up and stressed out makes me feel a little bit better in some regards, because I don't want to feel that bad. But yeah, Ben, 10 points clear of City if we beat them, bottled it. 7 points clear of City if we beat Leicester, bottled it. 3 points clear of City against United, bottled it. It's taken City 7 weeks to catch up 6 points to us. I didn't like the bottled it term, but are we bottlers? Ben, honestly, we're not going to know until May. You know, mid-May, we got the last game of the season, and if Liverpool go into that game with a chance of winning the league, I think that still would represent a good season for Liverpool if we get within a couple of points. You know, it would still be a massive improvement, but you know, inevitably there's a temptation to look at things in black and white, and we always want to do it because we're always looking for a weapon, whether we're looking to hurt people or you know have banter or whatever, or we're looking for analysis. You know, the 24-hour news cycle means that we have to have a story here and now, and bottled it's a lovely narrative to have because it's while it riles Liverpool fans up, it gets them all active on social media, gets them talking, gets clicks, gets all these things, and it stokes up fear, and fear sells newspapers, and it sells all these things. It feels like Liverpool are on the verge of throwing it away. I think that's fair to say because we just haven't been in good form. But look, what, 11 games left to play, 33 points to play for, and we're a point ahead. You know that's. So we got 33 points to play for. What does that mean? Therefore, City have got 32 or whatever. You know, the point is that that's not true. There's 33 points to play for both, but we've got a point more than them. Yeah, I get those feelings, but inevitably, it's just to say it now is just noise. It's a complete waste of noise and energy. I don't even know why I've given it that much time, but there you go. Aaron Jacko, back on top, massive 11 games now. Everyone relaxed, we're top of the league. We're where everyone wants to be. That's a great point. There's not a team in the league who wouldn't swap positions with us right now. Man City would much rather be us than them. I don't give a shit how many goals they've scored. I don't give a shit what form they're in. It's completely irrelevant because they could lose their next game and we could win our next game. And then what's the problem? I know that it feels that way. We're constantly looking for answers that tell us what's going to happen next. You can get an inkling of it, you can get a sense of things, and that's largely paranoia. Billy Clarky Bills, same games as City and still a point ahead. We control our destiny. That's all Liverpool would ever have asked for, and all us as fans would ever have looked for going into this season. We've been given a sniff of more, and it's making us upset. Yeah, I don't know. I remember, and I'm sorry, I've gone on long on this video, but I'll give you an analogy to leave on. Working in a pub, and we used to have happy hour between 3 and 5, and a pint of lager was £1.50 in that time. And I remember coming in and starting work at 5, and then someone else was working. We carried on charging this group of people the happy hour price for another half an hour. And then when I started serving them, I said, "Oh no, it's full price. It's £2." And they kicked off and they said, "Well, we've been getting charged." I said, "Well, no, happy hour's only 3 till 5." And they said, "Well, but we were getting charged at after 5:30." And I said, rather than worry about what you're not getting from now on, why not look at what all the extra stuff that you've had along the way? Don't worry about it too much is what I'm saying. The point of the matter is we could have had this amazing life. And they dreamt that it was going to be £1.50 all night, and what a life that was going to be. But the point of the matter is they saved themselves half an hour. They've had a bonus. They were ultimately where they wanted to be. They got good stuff. It's not a perfect fit of an analogy, I understand, but the point I'm trying to make is that we want to be top of the league. You've got to be top of the league to win the league. So therefore, we're kind of doing the right thing, aren't we? Will that continue? I don't know, you don't know, and I can't keep saying this every week. I hope I don't have to. I hope Liverpool just get back to winning games. They're certainly good enough to do it. I think you'd all agree, because you don't get to where you are if you're not good enough to do those things. But yeah, we're just going to have to keep our counsel, keep our heads on, straight, cool, all of those things. And yeah, get ready for Watford, because yeah, that's a tough game as well, isn't it? Anyway, drop a like on the video. I'll be back with the player ratings in a little bit. Other than that, thank you very much.